Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, anxieties, panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and schizophrenia, and I wrote a book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father Here, one of my memoirs. I also talk about my unethical psychologist and all the therapies I've been in, and the sexual relationships, unethical relationships I have with my psychologist. And I've written many books about those. The links to all my books are down below in the description. They're all available on Amazon for your purchase. You can also support my channel by buying me a cup of coffee. The only caveat I have to say is that I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or even give you a professional opinion. All I ask in turn of you, please, is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that subscribe button down below in the right-hand corner there, that little box. That way you will be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. Give it a thumbs up. Please share my videos with your friends, your family, on your social media platforms. I want to hear from you. Your thoughts and opinions matter to me, and I will answer each and every comment that comes my way. Now, today is how I overcame my darkest phobia. I'm sure many of you, a good majority of you, have phobias. What are phobias? They're just irrational fears, like afraid of snakes, afraid of spiders, afraid of heights. There's like a gazillion of them, and they have like a gazillion names, and I don't know all the names. Like afraid to leave the house is one of them. Afraid of tight spaces, that's claustrophobia. And like I have many, many phobias, but I did overcome one of my darkest ones, which was a fear of flying. Now, how many of you have like, and not just a little nervous to get on a plane, I mean a full blown out phobia of going on a plane? Yeah, most people have been on planes like hundreds and hundreds of times in their life. I've been on planes, I think, less than 10 times. Maybe about 9 in my lifetime, and I'm going to be 60 this summer. So in my whole lifetime, from a little girl to a 60-year-old woman, I have been on a plane, the exact count, 9 times, because I counted them all. 9. I am petrified of planes, okay? I have a lot of phobias, and planes, like being on a plane is like several of my phobias in one. First of all, I'm claustrophobic. I don't like tight spaces, tight, crowded spaces, like an elevator. I have a deep phobia about being on elevators. I never go on an elevator. I always take the stairs. Even if it's like 10 or 11 flights up, I will walk those 10, 11 flights instead of taking an elevator. I'll be all out of breath, gasping for air. I'll have to take short breaks, but I will not get on an elevator, okay? Those steel doors shut, and you hear about people being trapped in them, and I would just probably have a heart attack at my age being trapped in an elevator. Now, in a plane, it's the same exact thing. It's very tight quarters. You're trapped. Because, of course, I can't afford $20,000 for first class. I don't have that kind of money. So I'm pushed in like sardines in this tin thing high up in the air. Another phobia. Afraid of flights. Heights. Yeah, flights and heights. I just made a rhyme because I'm a poet and I know it. I am deathly afraid of heights. In fact, when I book a hotel, I make sure it's on the bottom level, and I can take the stairs. So it's got to be on the bottom level. I will not take, I will never take a hotel room like on the, 10th, 20th, 30th floor. Some hotels are very, very high, skyscrapers. That's not going to happen to me. Even when I went to Paris, and I'm going to talk about how I overcame my darkest fear of flying going to Paris. I walked up to the second level of the Eiffel Tower. I did not take the lift up to the top, where you have the most wondrous, beautiful view of all of France and beyond, and beautiful. I did not go there. Everyone who goes in the Eiffel Tower mostly goes to the top. I didn't. I only went to the second level because that's all my poor legs would allow me to do. And that was plenty high enough for me to look out. Plenty high. The second level I could see a lot. But so I'm claustrophobia, and a plane is packed like sardines in very tight quarters. I have a fear of heights, and a plane goes, ooh. And another phobia is I hate crowds. I hate to be with people, strangers I don't know. I hate to be pushed with people. I have a social phobia. So there you have 3. You're packed with strangers. You're on top of people on a plane. In economy, you're on top of, everyone is on top of you. They're up your ass. The seats are so close, they're up your ass. They're they put everyone together like this. You know what I mean? I don't even know how people with added weight get on a plane. I'm not trying to be facetious or mean to people. It's just like, I consider myself not overweight, and when I get on a plane, I have trouble. The people will take the armrest, and I don't want to speak up and say, well, whose armrest is this? I don't know. Is it mine? Is it yours? So I'm like this. I'm smashed, and it's very uncomfortable for me to be smashed like that. But that's not even the half of it. I'm so scared of a plane crash, and I hate turbulence, all right? I don't go on roller coasters. I don't go on any, when I go, I don't even go to amusement parks at all. I hate amusement parks because I hate the rides, and turbulence is just like being on a roller coaster, okay? I've been in some very, very bad turbulence. The worst turbulence of all that I've been on was when we went through a storm. I was in my 20s, my early 20s, and I wanted to go to the United Kingdom, London. That was my first overseas trip. My second was Paris. I'll get into that in a second. So I was scared shit of flying. Scared shit. There's lots of reasons. I mentioned a few about the heights and the claustrophobia and social anxiety, being smashed in with strangers. But also, what if there's an emergency? What if something happens with the plane? You're way up in the sky, and what's below you? Ice cold water, the Atlantic Ocean. What does the Atlantic Ocean have? Ice cold water. If you can't survive falling out of a plane, all right? I've been in car crashes and I've survived, okay? I've been in a couple of head-on collisions, and my son has too, and my husband has. We all have been in, in car crashes, and we survived. I don't know of anyone who's been in a plane crash who can survive. How can you survive? You know what I mean? You're being dropped out of the air, thousands of feet up in the air, being dropped out of a plane. I mean, I could walk away. I had to be hospitalized. I had to go to the ER after a car crash. But there's no way you're going to survive it's possible. Some people have survived plane crashes. But think about it. If you fall out of the air and you make it into the Atlantic Ocean, right, going over to London, then you're probably going to be eaten up by sharks, or you're going to drown. I can't swim. Either you're going to drown, even if I could stay afloat, floating on my back or something, right? I'm probably going to be eaten by sharks or freeze in the cold, icy Atlantic waters, or I'm going to get so tired of staying afloat that, it's just not going to work. Another thing is being stuck in those seat belts all the time. What if I have to go to the bathroom? If the seatbelt sign is on, you can't use the restroom. What if I have diarrhea and I have to go now? Diarrhea doesn't wait for no one. Doesn't matter. You diarrhea in your pants. This has happened. I'm not shitting. No pun intended. I'm not shitting you. I did read a story recently where a passenger had a massive explosive diarrhea on the airplane. And he was trying to get his ass to the restroom. Of course, there's always a line. It's a 2x4 bathroom. I mean, it's tiny. You can't even turn around in that airplane bathroom. It's so small. I don't know how people have sex in it, really. I mean, well, they can get on top of each other, but you know, I'm not going to go into it. Use your imagination. And he had a trail of diarrhea up the whole aisle. They had to evacuate the whole plane. Because it was contaminated with his feces, you know, because he couldn't make it to the toilet in time, you know. So if those seatbelt sign light is on, guess what? You're not going anywhere as long as that's on. That could be on for hours, and it doesn't matter. You can't control your bowels. I can't if I have a diarrhea, even if I have to piss. I've read some articles where men had to piss in their pants because they said, I have to really go to the bathroom. And the stewardess says, not when the seatbelt sign's on. Well, it's been on the last 45 minutes, and I've been holding it. I'm sorry. Get back in your seat and fasten up. So you have to, you know, wear those adult diapers or something, I guess, when you get on a plane, just in case, you know, the seatbelt sign is on and you have to really go. Pretty soon enough, I'll be wearing those adult diapers because, you know, at my age, you lose control of everything. Another thing I hate about flying is the oxygen masks, all right? I don't like the fact that this forced air in an airplane, you know? You can't breathe that high up. You'd pass out. You become unconscious. I don't like to go anywhere where I can't breathe natural air, okay? Just the thought of that. Every time they come on in the beginning of a flight and they tell you how to use your oxygen mask. Make sure you put on your oxygen mask before you help anyone else. Make sure you have yours on first, whether you have little children or anything, because you're not going to help your little children if you pass out from lack of oxygen. Now, just the fact that I could pass out and become unconscious because I'm not really breathing real air is forced, and just that thought alone really bothers me. You know, it bothers me a lot. I worry about making it to the bathroom. What if the seatbelt sign's on? I can't sleep on an airplane, so if you take an overnight flight, like all the flights to Europe are overnight. So that means I don't sleep the whole night. And I really am a person who needs my sleep. If I don't have, you know, any sleep, I really can't function. And I cannot sleep. I don't know how anyone sleeps like this. Sitting up like this in a stiff seat, cramped in with people. I mean, you can't lean back. Even if you can lean back, it's not lying flat. You're like this. You know? So just the whole thought of it. And turbulence, forget it. Anytime there's a little bump, I dig my nails. I don't do it intentionally. I'm like frightened out of my friggin' mind. I dig my nails into my husband's arm. Are we gonna crash? Are we gonna crash? Are we gonna crash? Like, I'm really scared. It's a very deep phobia. Like when the plane is like this. It's like, I told you, I don't go to amusement parks. I don't like those kind of rides. So, I really wanted to go to Paris all my life. This is how I got over it, all right? Since I was a little girl, my dream was to go to Paris, you know? It's the city of romance, the city of lights, the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, you know, the most famous museum, the most famous painting in the whole world, the Mona Lisa. It's just, you know, croissants and it's just... it's so romantic and so old world. And but the last time I was on, you know, I went over the Atlantic was when I went to London in my early 20s, and we had to go through a major storm. The pilot came on and said, "There's no way we're going to be able to go around this storm. So fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be a bumpy ride." After that flight, I said, I'm never going on another plane again. Turbulence? Boom, 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 boom. Imagine, boom, 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 boom. And like we're going through a major storm, okay? With lightning and everything. If lightning hit the plane, fucking plane would be in flames, and then there I'll be burned alive. Oh my God, like a friggin' pig on a spit. I was so scared. I mean, I said, I'm never going on another plane ever again. Well, I never got to go to Paris, and, I really wanted to go to Paris, and my other people I knew, girls from high school, just went to Paris, and she talked about how beautiful it was. Oh, and I wrote a book. Paris Sleepers. It's a poetry book, but so how did I overcome my fear of all that and get on the plane, especially after, when I was in my 20s, going through a major storm with lightning and everything, and tons of turbulence, which I hate turbulence. I just said, there's no way I'm going to get to Paris unless I get my ass on that plane. So if you really, really want something, that's kind of incentive alone. Like, you only live life once. All right? I don't want to look back on my life and have regret. I didn't want to look back on my life and say, I let my fear stand in my way and I never got to see Paris, And I went to Père Lachaise cemetery and I got to see Jim Morrison's grave. I always wanted to see it because I'm a big Doors fan and I love Morrison. I'm really grateful that I faced my fear head on, because I said to myself, look, do you want to look back on your life with regret that you never got to see Paris, which was the #1 bucket list on my bucket list? Everyone has bucket lists. What's on your bucket list? Tell me what's on your bucket list. I didn't want to, I believe while you're still healthy and young enough. So I went 2 years ago in 2022. Well, almost 3 years ago. It's 2025 now. And I went on my birthday. Yeah. It was my birthday. And I celebrated my birthday in Paris. It was also Bastille Day, their 4th of July when we left. When we left Paris, it was Bastille Day. And they were having a big parade right in front of my hotel. And they had airplanes go by with red, white, and blue. What is that stuff that comes out of the airplane? It's like clouds, that puffy smoke that comes out was in red, white, and blue. And I said that's, I was proud of myself that I faced my fear. I, check that off of my bucket list that I went to Paris. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud that I was able to do that. I didn't want to look back with regret. And despite my fears and everything. And guess what? There was no turbulence. There was no turbulence going down. And there's no turbulence going back. I do have to admit, I spent a lot of extra money. I got premium economy seats, so they were wider. They weren't much better. I didn't have to wait in any lines. I could show my ticket, my premium economy ticket, and I could get in. I didn't have to wait in a long line to board the plane. I could just walk right in because I spent $14,000 for me and my husband for 4 days in Paris because I got premium economy. I wouldn't recommend it though. It wasn't worth all that extra money. It really wasn't. Anyway, so I want to hear from you. I want to hear about what your phobias are. I want to know if you faced your phobias. What are you afraid of? What phobias do you have? And tell me your victory stories. I want to hear your victory stories. I want to hear like how you overcame your greatest fear, And let me hear from you. All right, till next time, take care. Bye-bye.